everyone. I'm Kaitlin.
And I am Jillian.
And we are the hosts of the OK Drama Podcast.
We're two friends recap and break down K-dramas one episode at a time. Yay!
Yay! Okay, so Jill and I are here.
On a Wednesday.
It is... What?
On a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday night, because we just couldn't wait.
Yeah,
to watch
normally
more Itaewon Class.
Normally we record Saturday mornings remotely, usually around like 9 a.m. But I watched the last two episodes pretty early on, and I texted you, and I was like, "Oh my god, I cannot wait to watch the next two, the final two." And you hadn't seen them yet, and then you told me you were about to watch the last one, and I was just like, ah! And then you were like, okay, I guess we can record early.
Yes. We are, like, super excited.
Yes.
First time ever we bumped up a recording just so we could watch the next episodes.
Yes.
Like, super fast. Yeah. Well, I feel like we have a lot to talk about, and I want to, like... I have some other Drama Corner thoughts, too. So I guess we should just get started, yeah?
All right, let's do it.
All right, so episode 13 starts. We are back at the Best Pub Show. So if we remember, Gun-soo, that little fucker, outed Hyun-yi to the press. And so she just, like, waltzes in like a freaking badass and just, like, owns it. She announces to everyone that she's transgender, and, like, first she announces it to, like, the staff at the production, and then, like, when the host of the show, like, interviews her, kind of doing that thing, like, how are you feeling, blah, 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 she's like, oh, yeah, like, I'm transgender, and I'm not feeling great right now, but, like, I've got this, whatever. Which, side note, I feel like that host was very supportive.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, like, he wasn't all, ugh.
Yeah, no, he was cool. And I was like, oh, I like him.
Yeah.
Because, spoiler alert, not really, she wins. And he's just, like, very happy for her, you can tell. And I basically started crying. The tears didn't, like, fully fall down my face, but I was just like, that's so nice. Like, I kind of felt like she was going to win, but then in, like, I was the pit of my stomach, I was worried.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I was just like, ooh, like holding my breath. What's it gonna be? What's gonna be the name here? Come on. And then they call Daebak, and it's just super exciting.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious that in the scripted show, they still have the "we'll be right back"
yes
moment. So you have to keep waiting.
So perfect.
It's like, oh god. But yeah, so Daebak gets their investment money. Everyone's super happy. Hyun-yi, like, runs over to the crew and they're, like, hugging. It's beautiful. But then we see President Jang have a meeting with Suwa and Gun-soo about the results of the show. And President Jang is kind of like, what the fuck happened? And, like, how did Gun-soo do? And Suwa tells him, like, all of the things that Gun-soo did to try to win. And some of it is just kind of boring. Like, he tried to convince them to do blind tasting in case Hyun-yi wasn't, they were only giving the wins to Hyun-yi because she was cool. And I think he, like, tried to schmooze people and
I think that might also be what helped her to win at the end. Like, if the judges were, like, not approving of her being transgender and were, like, disgusted or something, like, it was a blind test now. And so they couldn't say, like, this one's going to be shit because she made it. They didn't know. So I think ultimately it kind of helps her, too, in that sense.
Yeah. I guess maybe he thought, like, well, if she's out as transgender, maybe she won't even come on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But, yeah, so basically he kind of played dirty, and President Jang is like, interesting. Okay. And so he dismisses Gunsu from the meeting and then privately asks Suwa what she thinks about him. And she seems on the fence. I feel like Suwa is always on the fence about everything.
Yep.
But she
like has no backbone.
Reminds her. Yeah, she really doesn't. And like we'll get to this later on, but I love how Yiso kind of calls her out.
Mm-hmm.
This is episode 14 stuff, but
yeah.
But basically she says that Gunsu reminds her of President Jang, him, and then President Jang laughs and almost seems relieved.
Yeah.
As if he is like, okay, one of my sons isn't a total fuck up. Kind of an attitude from him.
Mm-hmm. Gunsu thinks about what he's done, and he sees Yiso in the lobby of Janga, and he seems really happy to see her for a second. And he's like thinking about moments with her, and she like walks up to him, and she just straight up slaps him across the face. And he tries to defend why he did what he did, and she just tells him that being a pushover suits him better. Meaning, like, when you were working at Donbom and I was able to walk all over you. That was much better than the shithead you're trying to be right now. And again, he's reminding her that he's doing all of this for her. And she dismisses him again. And he tells her that he's finally doing something for himself. But, like, no, because you kind of just admitted that you're doing it for her and to win her over. So
yeah, like, the logic doesn't really track.
Yeah,
I
like
guess.
It's for her, but also for him, technically, I guess, because he wants her that fucking badly and can't get over her. So he says he's made this decision and he's going to stick to it. And then she starts to quote Seiroi, and Gunsu just like loses it in the lobby, and everyone hears him. And he tells her to stop talking about Seiroi. She apologizes, and she kind of looks sincere, and just conversation's over, walks away.
Yeah,
and I think it's funny that
I feel like she actually looked sorry.
Yeah, I think it's funny that she actually went to Janga, like, just to slap him.
Yeah.
Just to find him and slap him and tell him he's being a shithead.
Yeah.
A simple text would have sufficed, but...
Yeah,
sure.
But I guess, like, when you really care about someone, you have to make an in-person appearance.
Like, cared about Hyunyi? You mean?
What?
Like, caring about Hyunyi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, yeah, I feel like this, I just thought it was funny how Gunsu also, like, Yiso's conversation with Seiroi about, like, her relationship with Gunsu, and she's like, stop talking about Gunsu. And then when Yiso has a conversation with Gunsu and she's like talking about Seiroi, he's like, stop talking about Seiroi. Like,
yeah,
I just feel like it kind of reinforces the idea of, I don't want to say like they're kids, but they are on like the same plane of kind of jealousy and emotional frustration with this whole love square.
Being too young. Still. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of similarities that I feel like we've noticed throughout the show. Like little instances where we're like, oh, this person kind of reminds me of this person at this point. Which I don't think we've noticed too much in other shows. Yeah.
The writing on this show I think is really good.
Yeah, I agree. Which is why we're dying to watch the last two.
Yes.
On her way back to Itaewon, Yiso finds Seiroi waiting for her, and he thanks her and congratulates her, and she lowers her head so he can pet her like he normally does. But he just looks kind of uncomfortable, like, wait, what's happening? And she's like, you always pet my head. And it's kind of a cute moment, but also kind of like a little bit awkward because it's well known that she likes him and he doesn't like her. But at this point, it's like, well, he knows, so I don't really give a shit anymore. I'm do and say what I want. The grandmother meets Seiroi and Yiso. She signs her contract and says she always sticks to her word, so he needs to keep his promise, which is to be the #1 pup. And she signs the contract, and she looks all fabulous again now.
Yes, yeah. She's not in her collections outfit.
Yes. Yiso's mom sees the news of IC's 10 billion won investment and suddenly seems impressed by Yiso and Seroyi, and also relieved for her daughter's future and like what she's doing. Realizing like, oh, maybe she did know what she was talking about.
Yeah, she's like, this girl.
Maybe she should marry this pub owner.
This now rich man.
Exactly.
Back at Janga, Suwa is going to leave the office for the night, and she sees Gunsu being a little weirdo at his desk. I feel like they do this a lot in K-dramas where all of the lights are off except the lamps at people's workstations. So it looks really creepy. And I'm like, in my office, I don't know, like we leave all the lights on until people go home.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's just energy waster, but
it's like those big ugly office lights too that's like kind of hurts your eyes.
Yeah. So I think it just adds to like a kind of sinister look. It being in the dark and stuff.
Yeah.
But where am I? Oh, so Gunsu's being a little weirdo, and we see him ignoring Seungkwan's calls because, again, at this point, no one really knows besides Yiso and Suwa that Gunsu was the person who leaked Hyunyi's situation to the press, and so I think everyone still really likes Gunsu.
Yeah. But he doesn't know that.
Right. And so Suwa is like, hey, like, what's up? I don't know. I feel like Suwa doesn't really like Gunsu, to be honest. And so she's just kind of like checking in on him because he's the last one there. And she's like, oh, you're ignoring his calls? And he's like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I think she mentions something about Seroyi, like what Seroyi would say to Gunsu if he found out or something like that. And Gunsu again gets like really annoyed that people keep bringing up Seroyi. And so he becomes kind of threatening and tells her that he knows about their past and he knows what could stop and ruin Seroyi. And Suwa looks scared and asks what he's planning. Because it's very much like, I know that Seroyi loves you. And
I'm
so,
gonna kill you.
Yeah, like doing something to you would wreck him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh, Gunsu, stop being a little weirdo, because they're like alone in the dark.
Yeah, it was weird when he started like walking up to her.
Yeah.
And just getting too close.
Not a good situation.
No.
Yeah, I think I listened to too many like My Favorite Murder podcasts and just am such a paranoid person that whenever I am alone in the office and I know there are like men with me there, I'm like, be on guard. Like, I mean, I know the people that I work with are fine.
Yeah.
I've worked there for forever.
And you're not like in a huge office somewhere with like 50, 100 employees or whatever.
Yeah, it's a very small group of people, but I'm still just in the back of my head like, be on guard.
Yeah.
You can't see me, but I had like karate hands when I just said be on guard. So yeah, that whole situation is like, God, a nightmare. Even though he doesn't do anything to her, it's just like really uncomfortable. But anyway, so back at Danbam, they are just like living it up. They're having another team dinner, which that basically seems to be the only thing they do besides work. Is then hang out with each other some more and drink. So they're all super drunk and they get kind of feisty with each other. Seungkwan tries to make a speech and Hyunyi keeps interrupting him because I guess he's being a little extra. And there's a really cute moment when Seungkwan calls Hyunyi pretty. I think he says like, hey, just because you're pretty doesn't mean you can treat me like this or something like that. And it's really cute because I think she kind of blushes and gets a little embarrassed by him calling her pretty. But then Seungkwan makes a toast as they celebrate everything they've achieved. And he goes on saying, you know, look at all the things that Seirui said we would do. He said we would franchise. He said we'd do this, this, and this, and it's all coming true. And they're all super pumped. But Seirui is falling asleep, basically. He's super drunk and probably exhausted from everything that they've just had to go through. But they force him to make a toast, and it's just kind of generic. But then he thinks about his dad being proud of him and starts to tear up. And then kind of like passes out, and Yiso like holds his hand and is just like, yeah, we're gonna make it happen. It's gonna be awesome. So
then we cut to President Jong. He has another meeting with Gunsu, and he decides to bring him to a board meeting. And there he announces in front of everyone that Gunsu will be his successor. And there are a bunch of people that are just like, what the fuck? Like, we don't even know this son, you know? Like, where did he even come from? Yeah, exactly. Is he like the other one at all? But then they all just kind of start applauding, you know, all these guys and gals. They just follow. That's all they fucking do. But then we cut to the mob boss from way back when Seirui was in prison. And he looks super, super powerful. And he gets put into a new cell, it seems. And we see some people, like, sitting around watching, like, oh, it's him. And then there's someone on the ground who's not paying attention to him doing fucking push-ups. And then we see it's Goon Wan. And at that point, I was thinking, like, is this the mob boss that was with Seirui? Or is it someone that looks a hell of a lot like him? Because I just couldn't tell. And it's been a while, and it looked so much like him. But I was like, well, I thought he got out, but... I mean, guys like him go in and out of prison a lot, I guess.
Yeah. I think he even comments, like, I won't be in here long. Like, I guess he has his connections or whatever. But yeah, he was also Sun Quan's boss, if we remember.
Yes, definitely.
I feel like that will be important later on. But, very interesting pairing.
Yeah, very strange. Yiso, Seirui, and Hojin have a meeting to discuss their investment plans, and they talk about starting up a national franchise, but Seirui thinks about how hard he had to work to get where he started, but now that he has money, that money can easily make more money. Hojin and Yiso look very curious, and he tells them that he wants to go big, and tells them about a franchise expo in Shanghai, and how he wants to quickly go global. And just, like, do the fucking thing. And they're kind of like, what? Like, he's like, yeah, fucking go big. We got to do this.
It's awesome. I think also because, like, he was before kind of the more cautious one.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we're fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Also, I love their rooftop setup.
I know.
It looks
it's so cute. I would love to go to a place like that. Yeah. That looks like a cool pub that I would actually enjoy being at. With good food and drinks. You can't go anywhere right now, though.
We should, once Moontoki makes it big, wherever we decide to live, we should start a little pub and make it cute.
Yes.
And have, like, vegan food and...
Yes. And soju.
Craft beer. And soju, yes.
And karaoke.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
fun. I like that. Love that, actually.
Okay. Well, let's add it to the list.
We need to make our fucking vision board. Is that what those are called? I already forgot. They always talk about it on Forever 35. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to do one.
Yeah. Well, we are supposed to make a vision board on that picture of Dio from EXO where he's just, like, laying in the grass.
Where he's daydreaming.
Like, wistful.
He's daydreaming about our future visions.
Yes, exactly. We should do that and take a picture and put it on.
Yeah, I like that idea. We could draw, like, a little thought bubble. Well, actually, a big thought bubble to fit all of our little visions.
On Post-its or something. I think they make Post-its that look like thought bubbles.
Oh.
So we should just get some of those.
I like that idea.
Yeah, we'll add it to the list.
Okay. When we finally see each other in person again, who the fuck knows when that'll be.
Yeah. So, back to Itaewon Class.
Yes.
We fast forward 4 years to 2020. So yes,
Yay.
We're finally in the present day. Everyone has different hair except for Seirui. I was gonna say, I forget what podcast I saw this on or heard this on, but it was like, and their hair has changed, which makes you realize that time has passed. It's like nothing else about them has changed except like they're wearing wigs now.
Yes, absolutely. I was gonna say, I really don't like Hyunyi's hair in 2020.
Oh, me neither.
I don't think it's a good wig on her.
No, it looks like her actual hair on her head is like too voluminous, and so like the wig is not sitting nicely on her head.
Yes,
or something.
I agree.
Like you could just snatch it off at any moment.
Yeah, I think Yiso's hair looks cute. I like it long with the super short bangs.
Yeah, definitely.
Seungkwan's hair kind of looks like he's from the fucking 80s or something.
He really does.
Like, and also like
70s.
The suit he's wearing too. Just something about his whole look now. Whoever styled him, he looks like he took inspiration from the 80s.
Yeah, it's like all brown. He
doesn't
looks like Dwight from The Office color scheme as far as the suits go.
He doesn't look bad, but it looks a little bit weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It definitely looks like he's never worn a suit before, but Yiso is making him wear a suit because he works in an office now.
Yes. And he like got one from like Goodwill or something.
Yeah, even though I'm sure he has money now.
Yeah.
But whatever. I do like his hair, like, kind of pushed back, though.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting
forehead,
look.
I guess.
Seirui, though, exactly the same.
Yeah. Totally. So yeah, everyone seems to be thriving. Icy/Danbam, whatever, their whole gig is doing great. So we kind of are catching up with everyone, but then we see a scene where it looks like they are, I guess, just some sort of meeting with people that make investments for them or something like that. I don't know. It's just like a couple of old
making
dudes,
dealings.
Yeah, in suits, talking about money. And they are trying to convince them to do some sort of investment thing and like basically break a relationship with this other company that they have. And Yusa just kind of owns them and is like, y'all don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, because even though this company isn't doing well now, we already have a relationship with them. And this person's son is going to marry this person's daughter, and that's actually going to be really awesome. So go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, because the wife is
the
like...
short version.
Yeah, the wife is something with like social media or something or other. Like, in a way, she's going to be able to really promote their companies and stuff.
Yeah, and I guess like once he marries her, then they'll have access to that company.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, he's like, they're like, oh, okay. She's like, y'all don't even know what you're talking about. Which I love. And as a young woman in the workplace, you often encounter old dudes who are like,
who all think they know
what they're talking
best.
about. And they don't trust you, and then you're like, I do know what I'm talking about, and then they're like, oh, okay.
My bad.
Yeah. So, after the meeting, the Danbam crew meets in City's fancy office. Their offices look so cool. Yeah, just great taste.
Also, side note,
all Isso's doing.
In Strangers from Hell, I also noted to Andrew that their offices are really, really cool. And it's like a small office, and I was like, that's what y'all need to do at y'all's office. Like, y'all need to fucking update that office. Like, it looks like it's never been updated since, like, the company started. He's like, yeah, that's about right. It's like, yeah, y'all need, like, better things in your office to brighten it.
Yeah, 100%. I was talking with Michael and Karen about it, and I said, like, why don't we get rid of the cubicles and just make, like, rows of workstations? That way we can get more employees, too, because, like, everyone has a standing desk now.
Mm-hmm. And you can only fit so many people in, like, a box like that. Like, exactly. One in each corner. It's not, I don't know, it doesn't make enough use of the space.
Exactly. And so I told them, I was like, what we should do is just get, like, really, I guess, yeah, just, like, rows, and then on either side just have, like, a bunch of drawers, because we do need, like, storage space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or you could get, like,
a bunch of drawers in between each person.
Yeah, those little IKEA Alexes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you'll need.
And then, yeah, just have our monitors. And I mean, like, you don't get a lot of privacy that way, but you don't get a lot of privacy in the big square either. So.
No. Yeah.
And I think that would just, like, make it look more
inviting. And yeah, definitely. Anyway, that was a commercial break real quick.
Yeah.
Back to Itaewon Class.
Yeah. So they're in Sadie's office. Everyone looks cool except for Hyunyi's hair.
Poor girl.
She looked so fucking cool, especially after her makeover. And then they're like, how about we give her, like, 90s mom hair?
Yeah, she definitely looks like a mother now. A young mother. And she just, like, looks boring now suddenly. Like, she's wearing, like, suits, too, I think. But not even cute suits. Not, like, search WWW suits. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lisa needs to help her.
It definitely. So they're just kind of like debriefing. We get a funny little moment where Seungkwan tries to call Seri Hyungnim, kind of like a more, I guess, less formal, because Yiso tells him, like, hey, we're at the office, like, you need to call him CEO Park or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yiso calls Hyunyi Unni, and he's like, how come you can do that? And she's like, well, Hyunyi and I are special. Which is just cute. Like, I really love seeing Yiso and Hyunyi's relationship develop into what seems to be, like, a great little, yeah, like, big sister, kid sister thing.
Yeah, especially after, like, that first weird interaction where I was like, ugh, that's not a cute look, Yiso. When she, like, was being all uppity about her being transgender. I'm glad that she very quickly kind of changed her ways and is much more understanding and loving.
Yeah, same. So Yiso fills Seri in on his schedule for the next couple of days, and it's, like, super jam-packed. He has a bunch of meetings and other, like, business stuff. And Seungkwan tells them that they need to take it easy, because he's basically like, guys, we are doing great. I don't think we need to, like, push ourselves this hard, because everyone's, like, still kind of going crazy with these intense schedules. But Sadie tells them that they're still not number one yet, so they still need to work hard to make that goal a reality. And Yiso makes another comment about, like, how that's why she fell for Sadie in front of everybody, because I guess at this point she just openly tells everyone that she loves him. And he tells her to stop, but it seems like I said, like, a regular thing. This is just kind of their work dynamic now. Seungkwan suggests that they have another team dinner and invite Gunsu since he's coming back from the US. And I think Hyunyi makes a comment like, you always want to have a team dinner. Like, what's the matter with you? But Yiso is surprised that Seungkwan still keeps in touch with Gunsu, because I guess he's the only person.
It seems that way, yeah. Then we cut to Gunsu at the airport, and Sua's there to pick him up, and their relationship is a little bit better from the last time we saw them in that creepy situation. They're kind of joking around, getting along like coworkers or whatever. But then we see that Gunsu is listening to a recorded conversation between him and Seungkwan. And Seungkwan is saying that Seroyi often goes to Pajin to visit Minjung. And then we cut to Minjung and Officer O, who are meeting up to talk about Haewon, who's his daughter. And it doesn't seem like they're dating, unfortunately. All this time has passed, and they just seem to be, like, friends. That's unfortunate. Whatever. Officer O is obviously really into her, but he's a little bit embarrassed when she asks him about it. And they just kind of talk about Haewon instead, and she's off to the side kind of watching them, hoping something will happen, like all of us, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Minjung seems like she would be a cool stepmom.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all know she's got good looks, like, in terms of outfits. Definitely. Like, yeah.
Buy me cool stuff, please.
So Gunsu has this little, like, bit of info. Did you have something to say? Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I feel nervous about Gunsu's recorded conversation with Seungkwan.
Yes. Again, still using people and still trying to find ways to take advantage. And it's like, dude, you didn't learn your lesson the first time when you got slapped. And you were fucking lucky that Yiso didn't tell everyone, because if she did, Seungkwan would have fucking killed you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, considering, like, our first interaction with him pouring the soup on that guy's head, like, he would have gone fucking ballistic, and he wouldn't have given a shit.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. It's shitty.
He loves Hyunyi.
I mean, absolutely.
We're still kind of, like, we don't know how romantic that love is, but, like, he absolutely loves her.
Yes.
As a person. So, yeah, you don't want to mess with Seungkwan's people.
Yeah. But this guy, he wants to take over. He wants to win Yiso's heart still. Can't get it through his fat head. Just like Gunwan's fat head can't get it through that Suwa doesn't like him. These boys. What is it with these brothers? Good grief. It's like the worst thing when someone likes you like that and like you're telling them no and they just can't get it through their fucking heads. I don't understand.
Yeah. It's not good.
And that's like how murder happens, you know? Like when a guy loses his shit and he like murders the girl.
Stalking.
Yeah. Because they can't get it through their fucking heads. These people don't like them. Just get over and fucking find someone else. It's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is like, I know that Gunsu and Gunwan seem to emotionally care for these women and like seem to, I guess, respect them or whatever. But they're both rich AF.
Yeah.
And they're not bad looking.
Nope, they can find someone else.
So I'm sure they could find... Well, one, like, President Jang was gonna have an arranged marriage for Gun. Like, they can find attractive women, I think, and eventually meet someone, probably that at least gives them a little bit of a spark of interest, but they're so focused on these women that don't like them. It's...
ridiculous. You can probably hear Lumen, I think that is, sneezing outside of the door. He's choosing to like stand right outside of this room and sneeze like a human.
Miles would not get out of this room, and so I think he's under the bed, and I'm just hoping
he's being a good boy
quiet.
Though. All right, so Gunsu leads a meeting about buying a bunch of different properties in an area to revitalize. And I think this is happening, I think he's talking about in the U.S., I feel like, because he just came from there. And his idea is met with criticism. President Jang is just like listening to what everyone is saying. And ultimately he gives it the green light. And President Jang at this point, 5 years later, I think it's 4 years later, he does not look good at all. He looks awful. He is definitely going through something right now. He's coughing a lot. He's like kind of hunched over.
Fucking wheezing all the time.
Yeah. And Gunsu like doesn't even notice. He's just so focused on work and trying to stay like in his dad's good graces to eventually take over. And President Jang tells Gunsu about Danbom's growth and warns Gunsu that Seruyi will go after them eventually. It's gonna happen. And I think Gunsu is like, you're still thinking about him? And it's just like this awkward moment of like, fucking course he is. You're still thinking about them, Gunsu.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like, this family.
Just get over
I can't
it.
with them.
Hojin meets with Minjung and they talk about Jangga's gentrification plan and how Gunsu will most likely be the successor of the company, as he is now pretty well liked among everyone. Minjung agrees and says that she no longer has any significant power to make changes in the company since she had to relocate and stuff.
Yeah, and I think they were talking about this because Seiri's plan was to take down President Jang and
get her in there,
the Jang family, and so they're at this point they're kind of scrambling to figure out how they can still make that happen. I think because they don't have a lot of options. Now that Seiri's company is off the ground and doing super well, they have power in that way, but within the company,
yes,
I think they're worried that it might become more stable now that Gunsu is going to take over because he's actually good at his job,
and he doesn't have a bad history.
Gunwon, yeah, exactly. So Iso is working late at the office, and she's weirdly in Seiri's office, shopping on his computer, and she shows him a necklace from Tiffany's, so probably super fucking expensive, but they got money now.
Yeah.
And she asks him to buy it for her. She's like, let's go buy it tomorrow, we can take a trip. And he says that he can't because his schedule is full. Yuso teases him more about her feelings for him, and he tells her that he feels uncomfortable. She tells him to fire her if she's making him feel so uncomfortable, but he says he can't because she's too valuable to the company. He's like, no, I need you. Which again, this plays kind of cute and funny, but if a dude did this to a woman, it would not be good.
Yeah, I was thinking this is basically sexual harassment. You're making advances towards your boss to try to get him to take you on dates and stuff and buy you shit, and that's not okay.
Yeah, no.
But she's playing it as okay because he needs her so much to succeed, which is also really fucked up. I don't know. There's a lot of fucked up things happening here.
Yeah, and I think eventually Gunsu will call out Seiri for basically taking advantage of Yuso, stringing her along because he needs her talent to make his company thrive. So I guess that is kind of maybe also her rationalization, they both need each other in different ways, and so they're just kind of making it work. But yeah, I think also Yuso kind of has a joking tone about it. At this point I don't think she expects anything from him.
Yeah.
So,
but I can totally see how it would be frustrating for him.
Yeah.
To just constantly 100%. Be told, I love you, or buy me this, if you're my boyfriend or something. And just, how awkward that must be. Again, when you've told someone over and over that you don't like them.
Totally. She's just wearing him down. So, Hyunyi comes into the office, and she's like, am I interrupting something? And they're like, no, come in. Yuso leaves and whispers, I love you, on her way out. And Hyunyi seems used to their kind of awkward dynamic. And she hands Seiri a stack of papers to sign because business or whatever. Yeah. And she compliments his pen because it's super fancy. And he's like, oh, thanks, Yuso bought it for me for my birthday. And Hyunyi gives him a look and says, well, what did you buy Yuso for her birthday? Pointing out that he's kind of an ingrate, I guess. Just super clueless as ever. And yeah, he just kind of has a dumb blank stare. So then we have this little mini scene. Hojin is just living his life, walking down the street, and as he is going through a crosswalk, he spots Gunwan. And I guess nobody realized he was out of prison, because later we learned that he got out early for good behavior. And as he sees Gunwan across the street, he panics. Like, he stops in the middle of the crosswalk and I think kind of like hyperventilates, sort of. Like, his breathing becomes heavy and, yeah, panicking. So Hojin calls out to Gunwan. And it's just so tragic because Gunwan does not remember him, and fucking Hojin still has nightmares about Gunwan. Like, Gunwan tortured him for years, it seems, and Gunwan doesn't even remember him. So,
yeah, I mean, like, I feel
awful.
like in this day and age where everyone has technology and, like, people from high school end up finding you, or you show up, like, in, like, people you may know or whatever, like, I don't think there's really a situation where someone wouldn't recognize you. But, like, imagine, like, a situation you had with someone in high school that was just, like, such a shithead, and it's, like, such a traumatic experience for you, and it's something, like, you'll never, ever, ever forget because it was so shitty. And if it was ever brought up to them, they'd be like, I don't remember that at all. And they're just, like, laughing about it, you know? Like, like, it's just funny. Like, oh, we were such funny kids. But it's like, no, I didn't find that funny. Like, you beat the shit out of me, or you said really, really ugly things about me and made me feel really bad. Yeah. But to people like him that are just, like, terrible bullies, like, they don't see it that way. It was never, like, kind of a personal thing for them, you know?
Exactly. And like, I think that hits the nail on the head. Like, for Gunwan, it wasn't personal at all. Like, Hojin was just a body.
Yeah, he was just the person that was there.
Yeah. Whereas for Hojin, like, that was his living nightmare for years. It's crazy.
Crazy to see that interaction. That scene made me feel so ugly.
I know. Same. I got, like shivers, just like, ugh, I hate this.
Yeah.
Also, just because I, like, personally hate running into people from
I'm surprised,
or whatever.
I'm surprised he called his name, because I honestly would not have. I would have frozen.
I would have hidden.
Yeah, I would have frozen and been like, oh my god, do not see me. And then I fucking would have left immediately and, like, ran, basically.
Yeah.
Very brave of him.
I was kind of thinking, like, when Hojin called out to him, I was like, is he going to try to, like, get him on their side? Because I was wondering, like, at this point, Gunwan doesn't have a good relationship with his dad, because his dad was like, I don't regret fucking throwing you in jail and blaming everything on you. But as we will later find out, no, he is
that does not
loyal.
Loyal little fuck. So we cut then to President Jung, and he's barely able to eat his dinner. Gunsu enters, and he continues to ask about work and everything, and totally disregards his health issues. Secretary Kim tells him that President Jung needs rest, but President Jung agrees with Gunsu that as the face of the company, he should be at the important meetings. And then he stands and collapses, and it gets crazy. Gunsu and Secretary Kim start freaking out, and they take him to the hospital. And then they learn that he has pancreatic cancer, and it spread to other organs. And Gunsu just straight up asks, like, how much longer does he have? And the doctor doesn't seem to really want to say, because he's like, well, I don't know, like, exactly. He's like, just tell me how long. He's like, well, probably, like, 6 months. And that's all that we know at that point.
Gunsu's like, okay, I have stuff to do for 6 months.
Yep. Before I take over. And I need to secure that I'm taking over. Gunwan visits President Jung in the hospital, and they have a little bit of an awkward conversation about how Gunwan was abandoned, but how it was for the company, yada yada, all the shit we've already heard. And then Gunsu comes in, and he's immediately back to business. He ignores Gunwan, and Gunwan gets after him, and he's like, he made you the director, and when I was the director, like, I made sure he was getting checkups every single year to ensure that he was going to be okay and everything was taken care of. And Gunsu says that that's not really in his job description, which is fucked up because it's like, but you're his fucking son too.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I don't know whose side to be on because like President Jang never really acted like a father to Gunsu. So like, why should Gunsu be expected to act like a son to President Jang? Because they're clearly just using each other. Like President Jang wants someone he's related his blood to be the successor, and his first son was a fuck up, so he's out. And Gunsu just wants to take over the company for Yiso, so it still feels like there's no like warmth there at all.
It's all a fucking mess.
Yeah, their whole family sucks.
Yeah.
So
Gunwan gets really pissed off. He grabs Gunsu. They're about to fight, but President Jang breaks it up. And Gunwan looks really hurt after President Jang tells him that he doesn't regret putting him in jail. And Gunwan tells his father that he knows why his life turned out like this and vows to protect his precious Janga. Ugh.
I'm like, what? How?
Yep, exactly.
What are you gonna do?
What crazy thing.
I know, Gunwan seems like such a loose cannon that I just feel like anything he does, it's hard because I'm like, well, maybe he reformed in prison, because at certain points, like, he seems okay, but then other points, it's like, oh shit, you're crazy.
Definitely.
So, yeah. Suwa and Seri are about to meet up for an impromptu dinner date. I think she kind of just like runs into him / was stalking him outside of his building or whatever. But as they are walking, Seri gets an urgent phone call from Hojin. Again, like, this is right after he saw what's his face in the crosswalk. Gunwan. So Seri bails on Suwa because he's like, I need to take care of my friend. And Suwa ends up going to a cafe with Yiso, because I guess Yiso was stalking them also. These relationships, man.
I know.
So, yeah, Suwa and Yiso are at the cafe, and they start talking about, like, the Seri love triangle. They're kind of doing their classic back and forth, like, who has the upper hand, blah, blah, blah. But then Yiso calls out Suwa for doing nothing for Seri and expecting him to do everything for her. Yiso says that Seri might like Suwa now, but she, Yiso, definitely loves him more. And I have to say, I think she's right. And I really appreciated Yiso breaking it down, because I'm like, oh, that's true. That's true. That Suwa was like, oh, I only marry rich guys. Or not marry, I only go out with rich guys. So you have to become rich for me. Whereas Yiso was like, I'll make you a rich guy.
Yeah.
And Suwa was like, oh, well, you should make me quit my job. Well, technically, Seri said that first, but she like really clung on to that. And then Yiso's like, no, like, I helped him make his job what he wanted it to be. And I appreciated that it was very spelled out like that, because I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, it might have been like a little too on the nose, but I thought it was a good scene.
Yeah, definitely.
So Seri meets with Hojin, and they talk about Hojin running into Gunwan and how it bothered him, how scared he still is of Gun, even though Gun doesn't remember him, kind of what we talked about. Then they start to talk business, and Hojin tells him that President Jang has terminal cancer, and Seri is shocked. So, then we quickly cut to President Jang having a moment in his office where he thinks back to his past when he was just a poor kid and dreamed of owning a 10-story building while his friend doubted him. He laughs and thinks about all the shitty things he's done to people to achieve Janga's success.
Cool.
And then he gets a call from Seri, and Seri tells him that he's heard the news about his condition and says that he basically doesn't want God to punish him yet, that he still needs to punish him. And, like, I think he says, "You can't die yet. You still need to be punished by me." President Jang thinks it's amusing that Siri is the only person who wants him alive, which I thought that was also an interesting realization. And so he responds that Siri will be his final fate. Siri tells him that they'll meet again soon, and President Jang tells him that he can't wait long. End of episode.
Damn.
So, yeah, I was like, oh shit, Siri really is the only person that wants President Jang alive. Like, maybe Secretary Kim?
For the sake of having his job still.
Yeah. But, like, Goon-soo obviously doesn't give a fuck. Like, as long as he's made the successor. Goonwon, I guess, would maybe care, but...
Yeah, Goonwon maybe wants him to live in the sense of, like, hopefully maybe winning him over again. And then becoming the successor, and then he won't care. But I think if he does care right now, it's mostly because he feels he's entitled to the role of successor.
Right.
And always has been. But all right, episode 14. We'll just go right into it. Seruyi and Yiso have another little office romance moment, and he drapes his jacket over her for a while she's sleeping, or he thinks she's sleeping, and she teases him. Then the next morning, Hojin, Seruyi, Yiso, and Minjung have a meeting about the future of Janga, and they decide to weaken President Jang by ousting a few board members that he's close to, like guys that are on his side. And they decide to try to replace one with Yiso. Then we see news of a scandal from one of Janga's board members, and President Jang knows it's Seruyi's doing, and he tells Gunsu that they'll have to fight fair since it's important to focus on public image at the moment, and we just have to drop this guy and see where it goes. So it's all just like kind of business stuff back and forth right now.
Yeah.
Seruyi and Yiso are working on board member stuff, like getting things ready, wanting to meet people or whatever, when Suwa calls and she wants to go get drinks, yada yada, and then they have another conversation about how she shouldn't like him, and he accuses her of making him feel uneasy, but denies having feelings for her. Yiso is very pleased, though, and confident now that he might be starting to think of her differently. Yes. So we'll see. We'll see his shift in feelings shortly. Yeah. Which is kind of exciting.
Definitely. Yiso, Seri, and Minjung start working on board meeting. Wait, what? No. Yiso, Seri, and Minjung start working hard on meeting shareholders and important people so Yiso can land a spot on the board. I think this part's kind of boring. Just like business.
Yeah, meeting a bunch of people, showing how smart I am.
Yeah. So Yiso's working super fucking hard because not only is she doing like her normal work duties, but she's taking this extra project on top of it, and she goes to meet Tony at what appears to be maybe a new location. And like always like a little Tony nugget thrown in to an episode. So they're having their little meeting, and then her nose starts to bleed, and Tony is like, girl, you need to rest. You're a fucking mess right now.
Side note, there's a commercial for Carvana, I think, and one of the guys in it looks a lot like Tony. I don't think it's him. Really? Yeah, but like the same like hairstyle, the same type of smile. Eyes are a little bit wide, like far apart. It looks a lot like him, but I don't think it's him. But again, I'm always like reading subtitles, so I'm not focusing on faces. But it just looks a lot like him, and he just like smiles in the camera real quick. It's a dumb commercial, as they all are.
I wonder what he's done other than Itaewon Class. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Issa's a fucking mess. And Tony is like, rest, but she says she doesn't have time. Hyun-yi tells Seri that their dinner meeting was canceled, so Seri can take the opportunity to rest. And then we see Yiso running into Gunsu as she's going to meet shareholders. I guess she doesn't end up meeting them because Gunsu's like, I'll already beat you to it, but I don't know. So they kind of catch up, and he convinces her to join him for a drink. I think he says something like, I might get drunk and spill some company secrets. And she's like, okay. This scene. Okay.
Yes.
So then we cut to seeing Siri drink with Suwa, and Suwa and Siri are kind of talking about their accomplishments, how much they've done in the last 4 years. Suwa is now a homeowner, which good for her. But Suwa says that even though she's achieved everything she thought she wanted when she was young, she still feels empty inside. And their conversation gets awkward when Suwa asks if Siri still likes her, and he doesn't really answer.
Mm-hmm. He kind of says, like, I've already told you.
Yeah. It's like non-answers. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, well, just say it then. And he's like, ugh. And then fucking we see Yuso and Gunsu entering the same bar, and everyone locks eyes with each other, and I'm just like hands flapping, just I can't take it. And then Yuso runs out, and Gunsu follows behind her. I feel like Gunsu is just like, God, fuck you guys in this moment, because he was so close to being able to just hang out with Yuso.
Sit with her, yeah.
But now she's hurt. Like, one, I don't think he likes to see her hurt. And two, I'm sure he's bummed that he can't hang out with her now. Mm-hmm. So Sadie stands up to go after Yuso, but Suwa stops him and tells him not to go and asks if he likes Yuso. He doesn't really answer again. He seems kind of just all over the place emotionally at this moment. And she tells him that it's been 15 years and that he should still like her, which I do not get that logic.
No, I do not either.
I guess maybe she's saying, like, you've liked me for 15 years, like, what's changed? Mm-hmm. But it's also kind of like, well, you've led him on for 15 years. Maybe he's fucking tired of it.
And not even, like, led him on necessarily, but just straight up said, you shouldn't like me. Don't like me. Like, what do you expect him to do? Especially, like, she's not showing any sort of interest in him at all, other than telling him that she only dates rich guys, like, which I think is a fucking slap in the face and really shitty to say to someone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still don't like her. I'm sorry. I still find her very annoying.
Yeah, she's not, like, a great character. Or, not that she's not a great character, she's just, like, not someone that I would want to hang out with.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate, because in the first episode, I thought I was really gonna like her. Like, she seemed really cool, and she seemed, like, to have, like, this sort of attitude of, like, I get business done, but I'm also, like, compassionate and caring and stuff, and just, like, really cool. But, no. I don't like her.
That's fair. So she's like, just tell me that you like me, and he starts to kind of fumble with his words, and then she lets him go and is like, JK, LOL, I was just kidding. Go find Yuso, and I'll call you later. Which again is so awkward. Like, Suwa, like you said, she just needs to have a backbone with something. If she actually does like Seri, then she needs to tell him, like, now. Like, that would have been the moment to say, you know what, I know I've been shitty to you in the past, but, like, I like you, and please don't go after her.
Yeah, because the thing is, she's never told him she likes him, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
She's only ever said, I only date rich guys and don't like me. But she's never really said or done anything to show him that she's interested in him or show him that she, like, really cares, you know? And then when you think about other things of, like, taking the fucking flowers to him and stuff, that huge fuck you, and just never actually standing up for him or doing anything, which he never asked her to. And he's always told her, like, don't feel bad or whatever. But I feel like if you really care about someone, it gets to a point where you're just like, man, like, I can't fucking take this anymore.
Exactly.
And that never happened. The most that happened was that resignation letter that she obviously never handed in.
Right. Yeah. she's definitely kind of towing the line of like, well, I'm technically not the one who did anything bad to Sadie. Like, I'm just living my life. But
I'm just doing my
job. She's like an accessory to all of this bad stuff.
She's definitely I don't really want to date you right now, or I don't really think I like you, but I also don't want anyone else to date you or like you.
Exactly.
Which is completely unfair and ridiculous. Like, get over yourself. People need to be happy.
I feel like Sadie is just kind of like a security blanket to her.
Absolutely.
But it's weird because, well, I guess, I don't know, maybe she's just like really focused on her career. But she doesn't seem interested in meeting other people either.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I guess the closest thing they had was right before he left to go deep sea fishing. And she was like trying to invite him into her place.
Yeah.
But.
And another interesting thing is her kind of like hanging on to this thread of him saying, like, I'm gonna become so successful, I'm gonna make you quit, or I'm gonna make you lose your job. And she's, like, holding on to this as, like, her fucking lifeline to get out of Janga. But it's, like, she could easily quit. And at this point, Seido-yi has such a huge thing with his company, he could easily hire her. It wouldn't be an issue of, like, her being blacklisted or anything from Janga and not being able to get work anywhere. Like, if she wanted to be with him and she wanted a relationship like this to work, she could fucking quit herself, and that would be a huge blow to Janga and to President Jang, because he kind of relies on her so much. But she's not doing any of that. It's just a really interesting way of thinking on her part.
Yeah, I agree. There's like a lot going on in that brain that I don't really get.
Anyway, so by the time Seido-yi makes it outside, Yusu's already gone. Gunsu yells at him for taking advantage of her feelings, and he wonders out loud if IC disappears, would Seido-yi let go Viso? And he doesn't answer, and Gunsu looks upset and tells him he'll see him at the shareholders meeting. Suwa ends up meeting with Gunwan, and they have an awkward dinner. He's happy that he finally got his wish of going out with her. And she asks if he plans on coming back to Janga. And he says no and hints that he has other plans, but does not kind of divulge into those plans. They keep talking about who likes who, yada, yada, yada. And he accepts that she will always think that he's a jerk, naturally. I also think it's really funny how these, like, almost 30-year-olds are like, do you like me? Do you like her? Like,
yeah, well, at this point, they're, like, in their mid to late 30s, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. It just seems so funny to say, like, I like you, or do you like me? Like, it's such a middle high school thing. It's so funny. Where it should be more like, do you want to be in a relationship with me? Or are you interested in taking things further? You know, just like the matter of language. But I don't know if that's also a subtitle thing, where it's just easier to say, do you like me?
Yeah, I think it is. Well, because I was kind of paying attention to that, and I mean, like, the verb that they are using is like the verb to like. Choyo? Something like that, right? That's the word? Oh yeah, choyo. Yeah.
Choyo,
like
yeah.
Like,
it's one of the one words that I remember. Choyo.
from the major languages.
And Hanguk.
Do you remember Miguk?
No.
That's America.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just remember, like, little things. I got fucking lazy, of course, because I suck at learning languages. So I just remember, like, little phrases. Or not even phrases, just, like, single words.
I need to get back on that. PSA, we're taking another commercial break. Everyone support your local library, because our library in San Antonio has free online language learning services. So I'm sure other libraries around the US and probably world also offer that. Because I was like, what? I can get this for free? Because obviously, like, there's Duolingo and Rosetta Stone and all that shit. that can get kind of expensive. But yeah, I mean, it's not like the most comprehensive, I don't think, as far as Korean goes. But it's helpful.
But it does teach you stuff, yeah. Like, I was learning actual like sentences and phrases that I could potentially use if I was ever to visit Korea. The problem for me, though, is just like I start to get distracted and I start to do other things and then I just don't touch it again and I forget. And I'm like, fuck, like, I should really, like, actually take a class. Like, I know Spanish pretty well, and I did a lot of it on Duolingo, but then again, like, I fucking slacked. And I'm like, I should really just take a fucking Spanish class. Because I did in high school, but I don't remember shit. And I need to, like, be held accountable.
Yeah, well, the Korean Center, which is literally, like, 2 minutes away from my house, because I live in Little Korea, they offer language classes on the weekends. Like, my mom took a class, and I think it's for like a couple hours on Saturday mornings.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think they're that expensive either. So,
wow. When things open up, I would totally do that. That sounds fun. A way to, like, help keep me accountable.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, like, to just, I guess, do
meet
it.
People and stuff.
Yeah. I don't really want to meet people, but whatever. Okay, we are back from our commercial break. That was a little bit of inside information, again, of Kaitlin and I. So here we go. Yiso goes home and finds that her mom has been waiting for her. I don't know how her mom had a key, but whatever. Whole other story, I guess. We realize that she hasn't been home for 5 days, and her mom hoped that maybe things were going well with her and Seroyi. And Yiso explains that she was out of town for business and sleeping at the office, and her mom wonders if anything will ever happen between them, and she tucks tired little Yiso in as she thinks she's asleep on the couch, but actually Yiso is quietly crying to herself. It's sad.
Poor little Yiso.
Poor little Yiso. The next day...
rich little Yiso.
Yeah. Rich, poor in love little Yiso.
Yes.
The next day, Seroyi finds Hyunyi and Seungkwan are tending to a sick Yiso. Hyunyi tells Seroyi that Yiso has a cold and a fever, but she assures Seroyi that she can make it to the big meeting. She needs to do this. She's got to do this. And then they start heading out, and she fucking faints, and it's sad. And everyone, like, turns around really, like, shocked, and he kind of picks her up. And now we got this whole thing happening.
Yeah, it's, like, very dramatic.
I've never felt that overworked, thankfully.
Yeah, I've noticed that in a lot of K-dramas, like, people are fucking exhausted from working so much. And I'm wondering if that's just, like, a K-drama trope, or if people in Korea actually work that hard, because I don't think I've ever worked, like, for a job. I don't think I've ever worked so hard to the point where I literally fainted. No,
definitely not. And, like, I've been dead ass tired from doing other things, but, like, fun things that I actually, like, want to do, you know, and I'm putting a lot of work and energy and time into those things, and I'll be, like, so fucking exhausted. But even those, I'm not, like, about to pass out or anything.
Yeah, because remember in Search WWW where Scarlett is, like...
Oh, yeah. Doesn't she get a bloody nose also? Yep.
Yeah.
In Korea, do they have the same type of, like, work schedule that we have in terms of, like, a Monday through Friday thing?
I don't think so. I think there might be, like, a work hour limit or whatever, like, what is considered to be normal working hours, but I think it's more than 40 hours a week. I think it's, like, 50 or 60 or something like that.
Gotcha.
Like, they seem to work a lot. And I could be totally wrong, but my mom was kind of saying that this, like, work hard mentality really took off because after the war, like, Korea was not in good shape. But basically Korea grew to be one of the world's, like, I don't know if superpower, but, you know, a very formidable economy pretty quickly. And everyone is like, it's because we work really hard, but now there are some, like, side effects of this work hard mentality in their society, like people fucking passing out and shit.
Yeah, I mean, in the like, if I really enjoy what I'm doing, if it's like a job that like I'm excited about, meaning like the podcast or music, then I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm willing to work really hard and super long hours and like tire myself out. But if it's just like regular work, if I'm being honest, no thank you. I'm clocking out as early as possible and I'm not thinking about it until the next day. Like, not gonna look at emails or deal with anything. Because y'all don't pay me enough for that bullshit. But maybe they get paid really well. I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. I just know that in America, we are told to fucking work to death, but hardly get any pay or benefits. Yeah. Was that another commercial break?
I guess. Just fucking capitalism, right? So, working hard. Yeah. I feel like I work...
You've been working really hard.
What?
Lately. You've been working really hard lately.
Andrew's
been working really hard lately.
I tend to work hard when I like something, and I do like my current job. So I try to work hard at it, but it can also be like draining. Like, it's not my dream job.
Yeah, and with your job, it's like a bunch of it's a bunch of like files to get through. So like, if you have a stack of files, you don't want to leave work and have all these files. You gotta like get through them.
Process.
Yeah. That's what happens to Andrew all the time.
Projects for work, like when I have to organize things or like present things, I don't mind working late, and I'll like do that. Because
that's more fun.
Yeah, totally. I like doing fun work.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, so back to our crew. Sadie barely makes it to the meeting on time because they're like, it's okay, Yuso can miss the meeting, but Sadie is like a major shareholder, so he needs to be here. Gunsu is a snarky little boy towards Minjung. I don't know why, like, she didn't do anything to him, but whatever.
He feels obligated.
I guess. He's like, you always are pick the wrong side. I'm like, okay, good. Like, you just got here. How about you
sit down?
Yeah. But then he's like, where's Iso? So Iso wakes up at the hospital and asks about the meeting, and then we're kind of like cutting back and forth between the meeting and her at the hospital, and we learn that she has been rejected as a board member. And apparently Gunsu, like I said, is actually good at his job, unlike his older brother, and was able to sway investors from the US who normally, I guess, stay out of this type of business. They just remain neutral. So he swayed investors to join, I guess, his side. So he leaves the meeting as soon as it's done, despite Minjung's request that they stay calm, or they stay and try to calm investors who are on their side. And I think, like, Gunsu and President Jung also kind of try to go over there and gloat. And Sadie is like, I don't have time for this. Peace out. Like, I have somewhere to be. Which I think also kind of raises eyebrows. Like, where is he going?
Where is he going? What's he doing? Whatever happened to Iso?
So as soon as Sadie comes into Yuso's room, she is, like, almost giddy at, like, the prospect of working again. She starts asking questions about how the meeting went, and, like, okay, well, even though I didn't get this position, like, I have a plan B, blah, 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 blah. And he's trying to, like, calm her down and ask about her health, and she starts to get out of bed as if she's going to leave the hospital to get back to work, and Sadie orders her to stop. and lay back down, and he'll fire her if she gets up again. So he tells Hyunyi and Seungkwan to watch over her and let him know if she gets up. And I guess Seri, in his style, just like makes these bold declarations and then just walks out of rooms.
It's almost like a sim. Like when you send your sim to go do something and then you're like, oh, no, wait, I want him to go over here. And you X out of it and they just stop and then leave the room. They're in the middle of a conversation telling a joke and then they just like, I'm going to go pee. Leaves the room.
Yeah. Where am I? Okay, yeah. So Seri, like, storms out, blah, blah, blah. Seungkwan follows him, and they start to talk about Seri's feelings for Yiso. Seungkwan tells him to just follow his heart and wonders if he's confused now. Because everyone's kind of aware of this love triangle about Yiso, Seri, and Sua. So Seri starts to argue about his feelings, and then he's mentioning the age gap, and then he remembers Yiso crying and telling him not to make excuses for his feelings. Like, either you like me or you don't. Seungkwan tells Seri that him being wary of the age gap and people's gossip about them or hurting Sua's feelings isn't really like him. I guess as if to say, like, you're usually a kind of I do what I want type of dude. You go after what you want and you kind of
you don't make
take
excuses.
No prisoners attitude. And I do think it's interesting. I feel like a little bit more comfortable with their age difference at this point because it kind of seems like she's in her mid-20s and he's in his mid-30s, which is, again, still kind of big, but it's less creepy than, like, a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old. I guess. I don't know. The older you get, like, I feel like the more years in between you can have. What's the... I've heard this, like, calculation of, like, the minimum age you should be with. Have you heard of it? It's like
I have
half
not,
of your age plus 7.
I haven't heard that.
I don't know where I heard that. I feel like I heard that in college or something. So if Seri's like 34, then I guess the minimum age that he should be with is 24, which is Yiso. So there you go. I guess it checks out. Anyway, so Seri's like, I can't deal with this right now, and he just leaves. Then we see Seungkwan walking past a very suspicious-looking van. And I'm like, uh-oh.
And I was like,
look good.
Does he recognize them? Are they some of his old friends?
I feel like Seungkwan is just so oblivious all the time.
He truly is. He's so sweet.
Notice the van, but
yeah, he's a funny one. So on his little walk, he sees an ad for the necklace that Yiso showed him earlier that has like a little smiley face out of fucking diamonds. And he goes back to the hospital to give it to her. That little cute Tiffany's bag is all bent. He's like, why weren't you just holding it? Why did you have to shove it in your pocket?
I feel like that was the most realistic thing that was on the show.
Just hiding it?
Well, I feel like that's a total, like, dude thing to do. Like, as a woman, getting, like, a super fancy bag like that. I mean, I don't want to, like, generalize, like, gender stereotypes. But, like, me, as a woman, I would be, like, very protective over this nice bag. I'd be like, oh, it's so pretty. Right? But
and him, like, he's like, I'm just going to put it in my pocket.
I feel like that's something Alex would do 100%. Like, have the bag be all, like, kind of crumpled.
That's funny. So, yeah, he has it in his pocket. He hides behind the corner because he overhears Yiso and Hyunyi talking. And Yiso is stressed out and worried about missing out on work. And Hyunyi's trying to calm her down, saying everyone's concerned for her and wants her to be okay. And she tells Yiso to trust everyone else to do a good job, like, while she's resting. And Yiso explains that she basically works really hard so that she can justify confessing her feelings to Seroyi. And she knows she can show her affection because she is someone that he needs. He can't just, like, fire her. He needs her for the company. So he's like listening to all this, and he seems kind of conflicted. And then we cut to Gunsu telling Sua that President Jung is dying, and she immediately goes to visit him. And you noted, like, she didn't realize this before. And I thought the exact same thing. And I'm wondering, like, did her role change at some point to where she doesn't really see him anymore? Because before, like, 4 years ago, she was in his office almost all the time answering to him. And so I'm like,
yeah.
Did he send you off somewhere else to do something? Or are you really just fucking oblivious? Because dude does not look well. Clearly.
It's interesting. Yeah. I'm wondering the same thing. Because she kind of tells Gunsu, like, hey, just so you know, company morale is not great right now. So it kind of leads us to believe that maybe she's more in with the worker bees rather than like
managing all of them, probably. And maybe like Gunsu has taken on more of her role as he starts to get ready to fully take over, I guess. Because she seemed to have a pretty big role.
Yeah, I guess if you think about it, though, maybe she, like, took on that big role because Gunwan was so fucking, like, what's the word? He sucked.
Yeah, and so she had to pull a lot of weight.
Yeah, so
that makes sense, like, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So she goes to visit him, and he tells Sua about their past, and we learn that besides Secretary Kim, Sua is the person that has been by his side the longest, and he tells her that he knows she secretly resents him over his actions in Mr. Park's death, but that she also fears him. She starts to cry, and he asks why she's crying when she should be happy that someone she hates is dying. He's very blunt about everything. And she doesn't know why she's crying, and he tells her that he's been hard on her, but he's like that because he, quote, tames people. He pressures everyone around him to be exactly what he wants them to be, and then he hates them for it. Then he questions if that is how she wants to live her life, and she questions why he's opening up, and he says that he's becoming strange as he gets closer to death. Ugh.
Yeah, I thought this was, like, a very interesting conversation between them. Because it almost seemed like he was inspiring her to leave and, like, become her own person. Or something. Because he basically...
Saying that he ends up hating the people he's created. Yeah. Yeah,
and, like, hey, I made you this way. Do you really want to be this type of person that I've made you? Like, you fucking hate me.
You hate me.
Do you want to live your life like this? I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, then we cut to motherfucking Gunwan meeting the mob boss guy. We're like, okay, they're both out of prison. They shouldn't be, as we can see. Honestly, I'm like, how are they letting these people out? I get, like, Gunwan was, like, a first-time offender and was a good prisoner. But I'm like, this mob boss guy seems to keep getting into trouble.
I know. I bet he's like the person that, like, pays people off to not, like, testify or gets them killed somehow, and he's got all these dudes working for him doing the bad shit.
Everyone in the fucking prison, like, bows to him.
You'd think someone like him would never go to prison.
Yeah. So, yeah. Gunma meets the mob boss guy, saying that he wants to start their plan. And the guy is like, when? And I think Gunma was like, ASAP. Let's do this thing. And I said, ugh, bad news. It just... very nerve-wracking.
Yes.
Back at the Donbom office, Tony delivers a stack of files to Seri that were in Yiso's office. And I think, like, he just needs signatures or whatever. Seri is shocked by how many there are, but Tony says there are even more locked in Yiso's safe, but he doesn't know the combination. And I'm like, do you not realize how much work this fucking girl is doing for you? crazy. So, Seori goes to open Yiso's safe and sees Seungkwan working in her office. Seungkwan laughs when Seori tells him that Yiso's passcode is his birthday, and Seungkwan notes how devoted she is. Fucking Seori, man. Okay. Seungkwan reads a proposal for a promotional event at the pub, which is essentially asking people to think of certain people in their lives and bring them to Tanbam, like acquaintances, people you hate, people you love, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And as Seungkwan is reading the prompts for these different people, he thinks about the different memories he's had with Yiso and how they apply to the prompts.
He being Seori, not Seungkwan.
Yes, not Seungkwan, right. So, as Seori opens the safe, he sees the laminated sketch. I thought it's funny that it was now laminated. That Yiso drew of him after they had first met, and then he races back to the hospital. Gunsu also arrives at the hospital to visit Yiso, and he looks like very flustered. Because that's his lady, or that's who he wants.
He wishes.
So he gets to the front desk area, but the nurse or receptionist woman tells him that Yiso has refused guests except for relatives and authorized visitors, and says that he will need to call her if he wants to go to her room. So Seiri kind of gets there at the same time, and he's like, hey, Gunsu. So then we cut back to Yiso finding the necklace that Seiri left for her in her drawer with a note that says, get better. And she looks so happy, but then a shady nurse comes in, and he's like, hey, I'm here to give you another IV. And she's like, okay, no problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gunsu and Seiri. Yeah. Gunsu and Seiri are fucking wasting outside talking. First they're talking about business. Who cares? Then the conversation turns to Yiso, and Seiri asks if he still loves Yiso, and Gunsu confirms, saying that he's thought of her every day for the past 4 years, and she's the reason he left Danbam, so he can take over Janga. And Seiri agrees that she is someone you can bet your life on. And he says that even if he has feelings for her, she's a woman his friend loves, so he should probably back down. And he calls it a betrayal, and Gunsun's like, what's happening? And then Seiri stands up, is like, I'm going to betray you. I'm going to do the betrayal. And Gunsu's like, what the fuck? What? Like, when did you start liking her? And Seiri tells him that he can cuss at him, he can hit him, he can do whatever he wants, but he likes Yiso and he won't apologize. Then he leaves him, he goes to her room, and he sees that it's a mess. And then he gets a text with an address and a picture of a directive to not call the police or to bring anyone else. He starts to run away with her phone, or with his phone that has the image and everything. And Gunsu comes in trying to fight about his feelings. Then he realizes something's wrong because he sees the room. And he follows Seiri to this location. Both dudes come upon a group of gangsters. And Seiri looks really scared and freaked out. And fucking Gunsu comes up behind him. Even though they said no people, don't bring anyone. And the mob boss and Gunwan are there. The mob boss is in a car, I think, watching. And Gunwan comes out, laughing again like the fucking Joker. And he wonders why he's so concerned for her when he's about to die. Gunsu starts to freak out again, wondering what the hell's happening. And he runs toward Gunwan. But then a van turns on and starts to drive straight towards a frozen Gunsu. Why don't people move?
I guess frozen and
shock, I guess. I don't know. But Seiri is like, I'm going to fucking save the day because that's who I am. He runs and pushes him out of the way, but then he's frozen in front of the van. It's not like a run and push sort of thing. It's sort of a run, push, stop. And so the van hits him and he rolls down the hill just like his dad. And it's another ugly shot of rolling nonstop.
And I feel like you can kind of hear him going like, ugh.
Yeah, and you're like hearing his body hit the ground when he's like rolling through it. Gunwon looks shocked. Gunsu starts to scream and cry out Seroi's name, and then Seroi is laying there very bloody, and he's thinking about Yiso and how he rejected her the first time and thinks, I miss you like crazy, and his eyes close.
Hi.
And that's it. And I'm thinking,
what's gonna happen?
I'm thinking he cannot die. No, it's not gonna happen.
He won't die.
No way.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but he's not gonna die.
No way. And I was thinking, like, if that's the mob boss, did he not recognize Seroi, who hasn't changed a bit because his hairstyle has not changed? Because they seemed friendly.
Maybe he didn't know, like, who this hit was on. I don't know.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like they would ask, but then also I feel like they wouldn't care about a name. They'd just be like, whatever, give me the money.
Yeah.
But as they were like talking, I was hoping that he would notice him standing there and be like, "Oh, that's a cool dude. I know him. That's my buddy." But that didn't happen, and I'm wondering if he's gonna realize that after the fact, and then shit's gonna go down with Gunwon.
Yeah, I really wonder what Gunsu is going to do. I hope it's nothing bad.
Yeah.
I want Gunsu's redemption. I don't want him to go farther down this pit of.
Well, maybe witnessing this will turn him back to good. It'll scare him straight, as they say.
Yes.
I couldn't say that with a straight face.
I was thinking the exact
scared
same
straight.
I also liked Gunwon's line of, the two people I hate most are here. I'm like...
I wonder if Iso is just in one of those cars right now.
Yeah.
Knocked out.
Yeah. I was, very annoyed because when Gunwon, I think, is leaving his dad's hospital room and he's like, I know why my life turned out this way. Clearly... Or not clearly, but I think we can guess that he's talking about Seroi. But again, it's like, no, dude, your life turned out this way because you fucking suck. You sucked at your job.
You made poor decisions in high school.
Yeah, you were a terrible person. You did a hit and run. You are the only person to blame, and your dad. You and your dad are the people to blame for. But to him, situation.
It's always it's because so-and-so got me in trouble.
Yeah.
It's because I got caught by so-and-so. It's their fault for catching me. It's not my fault for making those decisions. It's that shitty mentality of, I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I would have gotten away with any bad thing I was doing if it wasn't for these fucking meddling Danbam heads. And here they coming after me all the time. That's all he thinks, which is really fucked up. All this time, he's already so much older, and he still can't, I don't know, just zero compassion, you know? Sad. You'd think after his dad throwing him under the bus, he would feel differently and, have time in prison to reflect on his life and choices he's made.
Yeah, but no, it's just, I think, given him, I guess, Seroi, it's just, time to think of revenge. Revenge plans.
Yeah. And I think Seroi needs to just fucking drop it, too, at this point, once he gets out of this mess, and just think, I may not have destroyed that man, but he is going to die. And it's not going to be a nice death either, you know? He's gonna be in pain. He has fucking cancer, and I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just a time when you, Suha said, where you need to just, fucking give it up. For once she's right about something. be happy and be successful in what you're doing and enjoy what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, I think that's like the best way to like have revenge against someone is to fucking live your best life.
I agree.
And not like give a shit about them or what they're doing, you know, stop trying to fight with them, but instead just like be the very best you can be and make as much money as you can and be as successful as you want and fucking good looking as you want while they like look like shit and start to have shitty family members and fights and things and just let them be miserable.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, like they say the opposite of love isn't hate, it's apathy. Mm-hmm. So like if you just like don't even fucking care about them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if that applies to the people who killed your dad, but
yeah, I know. That's where it's really tough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do we have any predictions? We have a special note that Jill discovered.
Yes, on the Googles.
On the Googles, yeah. Do we want to talk about that first, or do you have any predictions? I feel like everything is up in the air.
Yeah, so. Only prediction I have is there's no fucking way he's dead. No fucking way he's gonna die. And I think the mob guy's gonna realize, hey, that's my buddy Seiroi. What the fuck am I doing here? Why'd you make me do that? And I think shit will go down there.
Or I feel like Sun Quan's gonna get involved somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay.
But on the Googles, I came across this image of it had Seiroi, and then below it, it had Manuel from Hotel del Luno, another one of our favorites. And it was a Google image going back to a Facebook post someone made, and it was talking about how Manuel's symbol is on the Danbam boxes. What?
What?
Yeah, I know, and you can see them in the screen, in the still shot, and it's Seiroi like at the location at the pub, and then behind him up top there are some boxes, and they look like cute little nice boxes, but they have like the Manuel stamp on them, the little like circle with the line through it. Very interesting, and I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why that's universe. There, but yep, same universe. She sells them their goods.
Or what's his face? Jang Kun-wan?
Yeah.
Is that his name? No, Gun-wan is the guy in this one.
Guchen Song. Guchen Song.
Guchen Song.
Yeah. I have to say it in my head like she does when she's like, Guchen Song, when she like yells at him. She always yelled at him. That's how I always remember his name.
I feel like Guchen Song and Jang Kun-wan are almost the same name. It's just like a few letters rearranged. It's
a way of definitely getting like tongue-tied saying those names. Saying real fast 3 times. But yeah, I guess same universe, huh?
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we know she's a big businesswoman. So I guess, Guchen Song was selling stuff from the hotel to Danbam. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you had fucking Suwa going for buckets of ice. So it seems like businesses all work together. So I don't know.
So weird.
For ice, and then when they ran out of beer, apparently, I'm like, what business is giving away their beer to another business?
Yeah,
so odd.
It's weird that she didn't just give him cash. Like, I'll pay you back in beer when our shipment comes in.
Confusing. Weird.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the symbol. Look it up. It's there. Yeah. All right, you want to go over fashion?
Fashion, yes. You want to go first? I feel like I always go first.
Yeah, let me pull up my notes real quick.
I'm getting hot because our AC is off, so I can record in silence.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my fashion, I have Seiroi's denim jacket that has a yellow collar. I thought that was kind of cool. And then Yiso had a half black, half white leather jacket. These Koreans in their half jackets, I fucking love them. I want all the half jackets. They're so cool.
I also was like, this needs to get on fashion, Chingu.
It's very cute.
ASAP or fucking Yes Style. I don't know. Someone needs to get me a half white, half black leather jacket.
I would love someone to make a lookbook of all of Yiso's looks and where you can find them. Because they're all so cute. She also had a black long sleeve top that had like gold in it. And she was wearing like some puffy leather looking pants and some heels. And I thought that was a cute business look for the 2020 when she's a little bit older. And then her all brown outfit when she fainted.
That was cool.
Those are my 3 or 4.
I also Yiso had like this sweater dress on that kind of had like a puffy sleeve. Which I thought was cool. I like a voluminous sleeve. And then Suwa had this houndstooth shirt, but it was like a very bold houndstooth print. It wasn't like a small one. I don't know. I thought that was cool. Suwa tends to be kind of like more conservative.
Yeah.
In her
definitely.
looks, but I liked that shirt. And then I just said Sun Kwan's office look was funny. It was just all brown.
It was. He's trying. He's trying to learn.
Yeah.
He'll get it eventually.
And I feel like I just have to say every week that, like, Minjung looks great. So.
Yes.
I noticed
even if we see
makeup,
her for just a second.
Oh, yeah. Her eye makeup looks great, too. I'm like, can I do my makeup that way? It's just, like, a very soft, like, light brown, smoky eye.
Cool. Yeah, she's very well put together.
Okay. Should we move right along to I love you moment?
Sure.
Okay. I know this is a bad take. I'm calling myself out on this. But I like Gunsu and Yiso together. I'm sorry. I just feel like, I don't know if it's just because I like the way they look together. But like when they were walking into the bar and like when Gunsu and Yiso met for the first time, like outside of her cab, I was like, they just, I don't know. I just like their chemistry together, I guess. And Gunsu's a little bit more confident now. He has his hair pushed back. Like,
yeah, I guess for me, she's just never really been nice to him.
Yeah.
Not, like, really, really nice. So I'm kind of just like, I've never seen them as a couple to be together. Just off of, like, her shittiness towards him.
Yeah, totally. And I said in my note, I only want them to be together if they are the best versions of themselves. So I want, like, a nice, evolved Yiso and a not shitty Gunsu. But yeah, I'm thinking it's just purely based on looks. Because they seem to be, like, you know, more about the same age. And I don't know. There's just something about it where I'm like, I like these two together. Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and then just like, fucking Hyunyi and what's her face? Yiso. Hyunyi and Yiso's like moments together. I love them together. And so like when Hyunyi and Yiso are just like casually talking about Seri, I'm like, oh, these two girls.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a big I love you moment again. I'm not even like thinking about it.
This show doesn't really have a ton.
Yeah. Not like obvious ones anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck you moment. Oof. What's a good fuck you moment?
Mine is when Yiso tells Suwa that she's not good enough for Seri because he doesn't love him enough.
That's a good one.
like I said earlier, I really enjoyed her just being like, you are just fucking taking him for granted, and I actually love him, and I actually have done things for him because I care about him. Unlike you, who has just demanded things from him and done nothing for him, but, like, cause him grief. So.
You could also say the same about, Gunsu yelling at Seiroi about him taking advantage.
Yes.
Another fuck you. Obvious one, the car. Fucking getting run over.
God.
About to run over your brother. That's a fuck you moment. That's shitty.
Yeah. I was wondering,
half
like, were
brother
they always
or not,
planning
like...
on running over Seiroi, or were they just, like, kill the extra?
Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah, interesting. Who was the real target here? Did he not care at that point? He was just like, fucking kill them both.
Yeah. Oh. I really want to know what Gunsu's gonna do.
I know.
I hope he does something good.
He seemed very upset, so...
Yeah. Because I feel like deep down Gunsu isn't a shitty person. All the way.
He just thinks he has to be.
Yeah. But he also kind of keeps proving me wrong, where I'm like, Gunsu's not that bad, and then he does terrible things, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe he is. All right. Well, it's getting late, but I'm just going to quickly jump into other drama corner.
Okay.
I fucking hardcore binged A Korean Odyssey, aka, I think it's Hwayugi? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I've only read it. And I described it as good-ish. Like, I think what the show has going for it is the characters are all really interesting and they have great chemistry with each other. But the, like, writing isn't great. Like, the general story is interesting and kind of compelling, but, like, the dialogue and then, like, the story from episode to episode is just kind of, like, tiresome sometimes. It's just, I think, an issue of having too many episodes. Like, there are 20.
Yeah.
This is the show where the girl was like, I bailed after episode 18. Which was crazy.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so yeah, there's 20 episodes. I finished the show in 2.5 days.
Damn.
That is how hardcore this was the drama where I literally stayed up until like 6:30 in the morning watching it. Again, Alex and I were like quarantined from each other at this point, so I was just like laying around.
Yes, I'll watch TV.
Watching TV. But it's good. But I found this video on YouTube, and it was like these major fails from the show, and apparently there's this one episode, and I kind of noticed this. The graphics are horrendous. Like, it's crazy. I thought this drama was way older than it actually is. It came out like late 2017, early 2018. Fucking Hotel de Luna came out in 2019, and Hotel de Luna is like a masterpiece. Yeah. And this looks so bad.
It's all about the budget, huh? All about the budget?
I guess. I don't know, but like it has some name, like it has very popular actors in there. I guess they spent all their money on talent.
Yeah.
But, apparently there was they aired an episode where you can, like, they have practical effects, but they didn't edit out, like, the strings that are pulling things to, like, make them move. And then, which I kind of noticed in other parts, but then apparently they aired an episode on TV where there was supposed to be a green screen, but they didn't, like, edit the green screen out. Like, they didn't put the image.
So it's just green?
Like, there's a picture frame, and it's just green. Like, this isn't in the Netflix show. Like, apparently, after it aired, like, they had this pop-up that was like, we're really sorry, like, we fucked up. Mm-hmm. And I guess subsequent airings of that episode and like whatever, the streaming sites have the updated one. Yeah. But I saw a clip of it on YouTube and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, that's still probably not as bad as the Cats movie having Judi Dench's real human hand with her rings and all.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like, I just wonder, I wonder who got fired for that.
I know, seriously. Fuck.
Because, like I said, it was like a major show, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. It still seems like pretty popular in certain circles. Like, I think I said this last week, but it definitely seems like one of those dramas that I've heard people talk about a lot. Mm-hmm. And some people were like, it's my favorite ever. And then other people were like, I don't know. I'm kind of like, I enjoyed it. Like, I definitely don't regret watching it. And I really like the main actor in it. Mm-hmm. But it was enjoyable, but like, yeah, the graphics are so bad. So, anyway.
That's something Andrew would make fun of. Definitely.
Oh, 100%. And like there are scenes where I'm like, this looks so stupid. Like, why are you doing this? But anyway, I guess that's it for other drama corner.
Mm-hmm. Andrew and I watched another episode of Strangers from Hell. Mm-hmm. Episode 3 was really good because finally, like, we're done meeting the 1,000 fucking characters. And so now we can just, like, get into, like, the real spook of it all. Uh-huh. And this episode was like, ooh, there's many a times where I was, like, cringing and just like, bah! And Andrew was just like, ooh, I don't like this. It's good,
so I definitely shouldn't watch it, right? Is it too scary for me?
No, I don't think it would be too scary for you. Like, my buzz are more just, like, the anxiety of, like, watching what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. And just, like, like, the suspense of it all, of, like, someone being spotted or something happening to someone or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we're enjoying watching it, and I want to hopefully get another episode in this week, and then maybe over the weekend record another episode.
Cool.
And these episodes will be on our Patreon when we set that baby up, and we're very excited about the Patreon.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about it more in our Itaewon Class wrap-up. Mm-hmm. But we're just, like,
we're preparing right now, basically.
Yeah, we didn't want to just start it and then have nothing. Mm-hmm. So.
We want to make sure we're prepared for you guys, so you get your money's worth. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I am sweaty, so I guess that's it, unless you have anything else.
Nope, I think that's everything.
Okay, well, if you want to talk to us about your thoughts on Korean dramas or whatever you want to talk about, we are on Twitter at OKDramaPod and Instagram OKDramaPodcast and Facebook OKDramaPodcast, or you can email us at okdramapodcast@gmail.com or contact at okdrama.com. You can visit our website, which has past show episodes and will eventually have a store. What? Mm-hmm, I don't know. okdrama.com. You can support the show by clicking links either in our website or in the show notes. For Daebak Box or Fashion Chingu, and if you make purchases from those sites using the link that we provided, we will get a small little something to help run the show. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yay, yeah. So we will talk to you guys next week about the finale of Itaewon Class. I'm so excited.
Yes,
but also
I can't wait to watch tomorrow.
I don't want it to end, but yeah. So good.
You'll be getting a text from me tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Until next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.